G'day folks, Links here, and welcome back to a new episode of GTNH New Horizons. So this is going to be a shorter one, so I'm conscious that I haven't uploaded in a couple of weeks, but I haven't exactly been idle either. I have been chipping away at stuff in the world, but I've just been a bit too busy with work and a couple of other things in order to be able to actually record, which, yeah, is a problem that I'm having to try and sort of combat. I don't want to stop playing the pack, but I also don't want to surge ahead too much off camera. But we'll have to see how I sort of balance that, alongside work and whatnot, because it is a bit harder to just log in and play when I'm also trying to record as well. But the other thing that's distracted me this last week is Random Potato 10's first ever subathon, where he finished a twist-based technology run and got 4 twist tokens. So 1 for him and each of the other people he was running with, and then 1 to burn. So that was really fun to watch. Really chill stream. I really like the vibe. Really nice couple of weeks watching that subathon and being a part of that subathon. So I will be linking his Twitch channel in the description for this video. One other thing is a couple of people in the last couple of months have asked me about the texture pack, so I'm going to I'm going to put the texture pack into my OneDrive and put a link somewhere. Don't quite know where yet. And then it will definitely go in the description of this video. Highly likely to go in the description of this video. But also, I'll probably put it maybe in the channel description or something like that. I don't know. I'll see where else I can put it. And then I will keep that texture pack updated as I update the underlying patches. For example, the GTNH textures come from the GTNH Faithful pack. And really it's only the GTNH Faithful textures I'm using that change, because a lot of the other textures like AE are from SFAX, and obviously AE, there's been no significant new changes to AE and 1.710 for a long time. But yeah, so I'll be keeping that. I'll be keeping that in OneDrive. So anyway, I just wanted to do a little bit of a base update. So for the last couple of weeks, I've just been doing some optimizations. I've reworked the AE storage, reworked the chemistry stuff, and basically just gotten ready for assembly line. And basically that's what we're going to end the video with, is setting the assembly line craft going, and then the next video will be building the assembly line, automating it, and getting our first LUV components. So I have built the mega vacuum freezer, so this big boring blue cube, and this will run 256 or up to 256 recipes in parallel, but we're only feeding it with 16 amps of IV, so it doesn't get... there's very few recipes where it will actually do 256 parallels, just because of how little power we're feeding it. And we're just exporting hot ingots into it using an OR dictionary export bus. And then this little subnet here is for crafting. So basically, at the moment, the only thing we craft in here is liquid helium. But yeah, basically this little subnet is for crafting, for auto crafting. So we got rid of the little vacuum freezer we had over there near the clean room. The other big changes, I've added more to the wood area. So we have a Dangoat Distillers quad here, which is processing wood vinegar. And basically the wood vinegar is to get us some stuff like acetone. What does it get us? It gets us acetic acid, acetone, methanol, ethanol, and methyl acetate. We do get some of this from the forestry setup, but unfortunately, but this is sort of annoying to scale. I'm not sure if I can be bothered scaling the Sorry, I swear, I think I just said forestry setup. The biomass setup. But this is a bit annoying to scale, so I don't think I'm going to bother scaling this up anymore. I'll probably get rid of it at some point. The only thing we get out of this that we don't get out of the wood is ammonia and methane. But methane I can sort, and ammonia we already have scaled up, because even though that produces ammonia, it's very slow. The machines from here are gone, so these were the oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen producing machines. They're gone. And we have and this is also now defunct, this chlorine electrolyzer. And we basically now have a little chemistry subnet here. So this platform is on its own subnet. And basically we have a quad of centrifuges doing nitrogen from air. We have a quad of electrolyzers doing hydrogen from the outputs of the benzene setup. We have a quad of oxygen electrolyzers getting oxygen from sugar, which we get from sugar beets. We have a quad of chlorine electrolyzers, which currently we're getting from salt, but currently our only source of salt, other than going and putting a miner down, is a single salt B, which we should probably expand on. Ammonia is just this is running at IV, so this is producing 4 buckets a second of ammonia and 4 LCRs. And then we have a quad for helium. This is currently bottlenecked because we've run out of end stone dust. I don't have enough yellow stone lily crops, so we're currently blocked on helium. How much helium have we actually got? Yeah, so we're not even a quarter full of helium. And basically, all these machines just keep going until their respective storage cells fill up, and then we allow the mainnet to be able to pull from this. I also built the monazite line. So this is a very, very poorly designed monazite line. It's fairly slow, or monazite line in general is fairly slow, but I'm fairly sure my design is probably slower. It's all running at IV, except for a couple of machines that are running at LUV. But we've gotten a decent amount of... Its primary purpose was to get a samarium, which we now have 14,000 samarium, so that's good. But it also gets you some useful stuff as well. It gets you thorium, both the uraniums that you care about, 235 and 238. It gets you phosphate, rare earth. So it does get you some useful stuff. Basically, it looks a lot like other lines, sifters, washers, blast furnaces, LCRs. Basically, the two new machines that I've never built before are the digester, which just takes the crushed monazite ore and sends it and processes it to make a muddy monazite rare earth. And then the sort of unique mechanic behind this line is a dissolution tank. Which is basically you have to feed it the muddy rare earth solution and water in a 10-to-1 ratio, and if you don't, then that will be voided. So what we're just using is a level maintainer, which is constantly requesting it. The input side of the line is currently empty, so this just keeps failing. But yeah, basically this is constantly requesting it, and this is the interface that does the craft. And what it does is it pushes into a subnet, and the subnet just has 2 hatches. And these 2 hatches, and then an advanced blocking card to make sure it can only ever put 1 recipe's worth in, but the recipe is also only patterned for 1. So, and this has worked really well. Even at IV, the dissolution tank is slow. It takes about 100 seconds. But it does output 99 buckets. So it takes 9 buckets of this, 90 buckets of water, and then outputs 99 buckets of the diluted muddy monazite rare earth solution, or whatever it's called, the next step in the line. All the storage on this subnet is gone. So if we move on to AE storage, there used to be drives here, and there used to be a load of drawers here, and there used to be a load of drawers here as well. All of that has moved to the mainnet, where we have bulk item storage. So each of these cells is partitioned to a single item, and then we use sticky storage buses to basically at the moment route all of our bulk stuff we're getting. So things we're getting from bees, crops, other renewable means, or other passive means, and then basically any overflow. So these, as you can see, there's a fair few cells that are full. Any overflow is sent into this matter condenser to make more singularities. And you can see it's slowly ticking up. Each singularity takes 512,000 items. In the week that this setup has been running, we have 49 singularities. And basically, the only cells, so 2.8 introduced overflow void cards that you can put into storage cells. The only cell that has an overflow void card is a singularity cell, but I would be really shocked if we filled this anytime soon. So I've also got multi-block miners set up now, so we have some lovely information panels, and I have 2 multi-block miners in the Twilight Forest to get us unloaded graphite for the assembly line. And I think that's probably it. I feel like that's probably it. I've made some improvements to the autocrafting area. I finally got the chem bath for the multi-block chem bath for autocrafting. This has massively sped up circuit production. I was using a single block chemical bath for way too long. Some of the single blocks are still here, unfortunately, but they will slowly disappear. The other thing is I made the multi-block polarizer, and I moved there was a multi-block extractor over there which was being purely used to make sugar from sugar beet. I have now moved that over here and just turned it into a general purpose multi-crafting machine, and we're using a level maintainer to basically request sugar whenever we need to. So yeah, this thing is pretty fast, so I don't think we're going to have any problems with oxygen unless we run out of sugar beet. And are you turned off? Oh, you're turned off. Don't know why. Hang on, why? Oh, do you still have a machine controller? You still have a machine controller attached. I did not know that. There we go. So yeah, and then nothing else has really changed other than that. There's still a couple of issues I need to sort out, some more pressing than others. I really want to look into witchery. So I can simplify all this bee infrastructure and stop pumping lava and water and whatnot everywhere. I want to get the shifting seasons brew. But I also want to look at industrial apiaries. The problem is industrial apiaries are a bit of a pain to craft because they need pollen. They need pollen clusters, which you normally get from trees. Other than that, they're actually really easy to craft. It's just this alveary sieve that's really annoying, because it needs pollen clusters, and I have no idea what the easiest way to get these is. So yeah, we'll have to have a look at those and see how we get those. But yeah, I really do want to get the I really do want to start getting industrial apiaries. But if we're going to do that, then I need to get the shifting seasons brew as well. So that will be something I'll look into at some point. And we will definitely be going back to doing more magic as well. Oh yeah, I probably should have explained how this is going to be laid out. So we have bulk item storage there. This will be bulk fluid storage, this wall. So each of these cells is partitioned to a single fluid, but most of the fluid cells have overflow void cards in them, simply to prevent any autocrafts from or any autocrafting machines from clogging up, because there's a fair few autocrafts that output fluid byproducts, etc. And that's mainly what this is designed for. It is designed for the ones that we get in much larger quantities, so things like oxygen and so on, because obviously, like ore processing, some of the ores get electrolyzed to make oxygen and hydrogen and nitrogen and whatnot. So this whole wall will probably end up being reserved for bulk fluid storage. I'm not sure we'll need that much, though. I don't know how many unique fluids we need to store in bulk in GTNH. And then this will remain as our random item storage. So again, these are just normal cells. They're not partitioned. Although some of them are looking a bit full, but that's a bit deceiving or a bit deceptive because the ones that are looking full are mostly the 1K cells. The rest are all 60. The rest are all either 4 or 64s, and they're still looking quite fine. And then this side this side of this area will be for the random fluids. So this will just be a load of drives with multi-fluid cells in, which can hold 5 fluids each, and that will just be to handle the random outputs we get left over from various crafts, like random molten metals, random chemicals, random bits of acid. Things that are left over from bigger autocrafts can just end up in here, so they don't clog output hatches. And then this side will probably be Essentia storage. When we start doing formic energistics. So, and that will be something that I want to start looking into sooner rather than later, because we will need to do a bit of magic, or we will be doing a bit of magic because I want to do blood magic and look at, I want to look at blood magic meteors. One thing that I really do wish we had in base GTNH is Twist Space actually has a machine for mining blood magic meteors. So you do your meteor setup, crash the meteor above the machine, and then the machine will just mine it, which is awesome. The way I've seen it done in base GTNH is to use arcane bores, which does work, but I think it's slower, and it's also worse for TPS as well. But yeah, I have seen a lot of stuff. There's a fair few things in Twist I don't think would ever belong in base GTNH, but there is a couple of things like the meteor miner that I do wish were in base GTNH. But yeah, overall, I'm having a great time so far. So what we're gonna do is, if you've made it this far, thank you very much. I really just wanted to give a bit of an update. And then next video we can get back to progression, but we will do a tiny bit of progression now because I would like to craft the assembly line. So I think, so in theory, what I have is I have a fake multi-block recipe for the assembly line like I do for a lot of other multi-blocks, and this creates an assembly line with 9 slices. So that looks like, have I got one here? No, that's the EEC. So if we look at U, so 9 slices would be that. So I think 9 will do for now, as in LUV, because the LUV, is it the LUV sensor that requires, yeah, so the LUV sensor needs 9, for example. So I'm hoping that 9 will be enough for now, but we'll see. So we're gonna craft a. So we're gonna set this going. The only 2 things I was missing a bit earlier was chlorine and graphite, because this thing is expensive. So the controller is 2 IV robot arms, and 2 IV circuits. That's fine. Each of these machine casings is 6 ZPM circuits, and an LUV circuit, and an IV motor. So yeah, and we need 4 of them just for the controller, and then 1 per slice. And then the assembly line casing is 2 IV robot arms per assembly line casing. Again, we need 1 of these per slice. So yeah, it's assembly lines. Assembly lines are quite expensive. They're at this stage in the game. Your first assembly line will be a big, depending on how you've managed your resources, your first assembly line will be a fairly big resource sink. So if we look at it, we don't want it. Yeah, there we go. So we need. So if we have a look at what we need 112 IV motors, 32 IV pistons. We need 40 phosphorus bulls. We need 446 IV circuits, 892 EV circuits, 95 ZPM circuits, and 206 LUV circuits. This is why I'm so glad I got the multi-block chemical bar. 440 quantum eyes, 6,000 raw carbon fibers. So yeah, there's a decent amount of stuff that we need. It's like I don't know where it is. Where is it? Graph. So if we do... So this is a nice new feature in 2.8. You can now search your crafts for... you can now search your crafts using the little thing up there, and then it's got find next and find previous. So yeah, we need 1700 graphene dust. So yeah, this is going to be a long craft. So we're going to kick this off, and first of all, we're going to see if anything breaks. Hopefully it doesn't. And we... I should probably have started... Oh, actually, yeah, follow. There we go. So some stuff will be pretty quick-ish. Like the carbon fibers, the wires. It's really when we get to probably... The circuits are probably just going to be the annoying part here. I think everything else will be mostly fine. It's the circuits that are going to be extremely annoying to make, unfortunately. Especially the qubit processing units will be quite slow. Well, actually, it's the nano component ones that are fairly slow. I think the qubit ones are actually fine. It's the nano component ones that are a bit slow. But yeah, if we go and have a look around, so yeah, you're doing... So at the moment, you're making... These are making PBI at the moment. I could have done with actually setting up 2 more universal LCRs. I should probably do that at some point. The Vulcan Eye are busy, so what are you? You're doing tungsten, you're doing aluminium. I don't think we use any ABS stuff in the assembly line. What about over here? So, one thing I want to check on is the extruder to make sure it didn't power fail. So the autoclave is busy making... Oh, I need to update. I need to up this recipe now. Because... Where are we? Autoclave. The autoclave recipe is... Yeah, we can do PBI now. Yeah, I need to... Yeah, I need to up that. I need to up that to use PBI instead of epoxid. Because that will actually make that much faster. Yeah, that'll make it much faster because it'll do 16 at a time. It'll do... So this is making the fiber reinforced boards. So yeah, this is basically the arc furnace is making something. It's making annealed copper. I need to upgrade this. I've been using a HV arc furnace for ages. But you know what? It's lasted us this long, and we can get the... I believe in LUV we can get the multi-block arc furnace. So we'll just wait. We can also get the multi-block alloy smelter in LUV as well. So have we got anything yet? So we don't even have the controller or anything yet, unfortunately. But yeah, so we will have the assembly line. For the beginning of the next video, I will have the assembly line. But yeah, I just wanted to give you all an update and sort of show what I've been up to the last couple of weeks. And then next video, which was originally probably also going to be today, but probably won't be now given the time of day. So it'll probably be tomorrow. But the next video will be setting up our first assembly line, getting our first LUV components. And proceeding properly into LUV. And also seeing what we need for the Tier 4 rocket, because I know the Tier 4 rocket is behind assembly line as well. We can actually have a look at that really quickly. Tier 4 rocket is... So, the Tier 4 rocket... There is something behind the Tier 4. There is something... the Tier 4 rocket does have something behind... yeah, this is it, I think. Yeah, here we go. So, this is... Yeah, so we can actually get the... I think we can get the Tier 4 rocket as soon as we get... yeah, we can get the... I think we can get the Tier 4 rocket as soon as we have the assembly machine. As soon as we have our first assembly line. And there is a little trick here to handle this as well. So, we'll have a look at that next episode as well, because you can't, even though these are the same item, they have to be in these slots. So there is a little trick to that to make sure that they go into the right slots. So we'll have a look at that when we build the assembly line. But yeah, that's actually really cool. So we might actually, I need to look into it further. But we might actually be able to make the, yeah, I think we can make the tier 4 rocket. I think we can make the tier 4 rocket potentially next episode as well, actually, depending on how long the assembly line takes us. But anyway, if you've made it this far, thank you very much for watching. I do understand that we've not really done a huge amount this video, and it is mostly just been an update video, but we will have the assembly line for the start of the next video when it eventually finishes crafting. And we'll get that built, and we'll get into LUV. And depending on how much effort is involved, we may look at the tier 4 rocket in the next video as well. And then after that, I'm not entirely sure where we're going to go. We might keep progressing through LUV, or I might sidetrack and start looking at more magic stuff. Because I would like to at least get the basic magic infrastructure set up with formic energistics. So we'll see. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you all have a lovely day. See you later.